At the age of 70, Eleanor James faced an experience that would change her life forever. Despite holding a valid first-class ticket, she was denied boarding by a dismissive and prejudiced flight attendant. As Eleanor approached the gate with confidence, ready to enjoy the comfort she had worked so hard to afford, the attendant barely acknowledged her presence. With a condescending tone, he told her, "This is first-class boarding. You'll need to move to the back." The comment was not only dismissive but also deeply humiliating, made worse by the presence of other passengers. Eleanor, a seasoned professional who had overcome countless challenges throughout her life, was stunned by the blatant disregard for her dignity. She calmly explained that she had purchased a first-class ticket, but her words were met with further disrespect. The attendant insisted she move aside, making her feel small and unworthy. This public humiliation ignited a fire in Eleanor, pushing her to take a stand against the injustice she faced, ultimately setting the stage for an extraordinary act of courage and resilience. Before diving into the story, let me know where you're watching from. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to always be with us. Eleanor James, a 70-year-old black woman who had spent a lifetime overcoming challenges and breaking barriers, found herself in an unthinkable situation. As she approached the boarding gate for her first-class flight, armed with her valid ticket and ID, she encountered an attendant whose actions would shock her to the core. Despite presenting her documentation, the attendant barely glanced at it before curtly dismissing her with the words, "This is first-class boarding. You'll need to go to the back." Eleanor, stunned but composed, calmly asserted her rights. She explained that she had purchased a first-class ticket and was entitled to board. Her voice was steady, embodying the quiet confidence of someone who had fought for her place in the world. However, her reasoned response was met with outright disdain. Instead of apologizing or correcting his mistake, the attendant's voice grew louder, cutting through the murmurs of the boarding area. He openly belittled her, saying, "Are you deaf, ma'am? First class is for people who actually deserve it. Move aside, you're holding up the line." The public humiliation was deeply wounding. Eleanor was no stranger to prejudice. She had faced both subtle and overt forms of discrimination throughout her life, but this was different. It wasn't just the disrespectful words. It was the implication that her age, appearance, or background somehow made her unworthy of occupying a space she had rightfully earned. The words stung, not because they diminished her sense of self, but because they reflected a broader systemic issue, one she was determined to confront. As the other passengers watched in uncomfortable silence, Eleanor made a choice. She could have left quietly, internalizing the pain of the moment. Instead, she straightened her posture, a silent testament to her resilience. Though the attendant continued to ignore her and insisted she move, Eleanor knew this moment was bigger than her. It was about standing against the entrenched biases that allowed such treatment to go unchecked. Though the confrontation left her humiliated, it also left her resolved. This wasn't going to end at the boarding gate. Eleanor silently vowed to turn her humiliation into action, setting the stage for a decision that would not only reclaim her dignity, but also challenge the discriminatory practices she had endured. The day after the humiliating incident, Eleanor James walked into the sleek, glass-fronted headquarters of the airline, her determination unwavering. The indignity she had endured wasn't something she could let go, not just for herself, but for every individual who had faced similar prejudice. She wasn't there to complain. She was there to make a change. Dressed with quiet elegance and carrying herself with the confidence of a seasoned professional, Eleanor approached the reception desk. "I need to speak with the CEO," she said, her voice calm yet resolute. The receptionist, initially surprised by the directness of the request, asked if she had an appointment. Without hesitation, Eleanor replied, "Yes, I do. I'm here with an important business proposition. I'll wait." Settling into the lobby, Eleanor observed the hustle and bustle around her. Employees hurried past, engrossed in their tasks, oblivious to the presence of the woman who had come to change the trajectory of their company. For Eleanor, this moment wasn't just about seeking justice for herself. It was about challenging the systemic issues that enabled such behavior. When the receptionist finally returned and escorted her to the CEO's office, Eleanor walked in with quiet strength. She had no intention of pleading or making demands. Instead, she calmly laid the groundwork for what would become a transformative moment. Eleanor didn't just want an apology, she wanted to fix the culture of disrespect that had wronged her and countless others. When Eleanor James stepped into the CEO's office, she was met with polite but dismissive indifference. The executive, engrossed in paperwork, barely looked up as he greeted her. Undeterred, Eleanor stood tall and wasted no time. "I'll make this simple," she began. "Your airline has made it clear that people like me, despite having the means and right, aren't welcome in first class. That's unacceptable. I'm here to change that, and my solution is simple. I want to buy your airline." The CEO paused, visibly taken aback. "Excuse me?" he asked, incredulous. "Do you even understand what you're asking? Buying a major airline isn't just a conversation, it's an impossibility for most." Eleanor met his skepticism with unwavering resolve. "I'm not here to debate logistics. I've spent decades building my success, and I have the resources to make this happen. What I care about is addressing the systemic disrespect and prejudice that your company perpetuates. This isn't just about me. It's about creating a culture where everyone is treated with dignity, regardless of their age, race, or appearance." The room grew tense as Eleanor outlined her vision for change. She presented documentation, proving she had already initiated the process to acquire a controlling stake in the airline. The CEO, stunned into silence, began to understand that Eleanor wasn't just another dissatisfied customer. She was a force of change, determined to turn her personal experience of injustice into an opportunity to transform an industry riddled with biases. Eleanor's bold proposal wasn't just a statement, it was a declaration of her power and her mission to bring about lasting change. Eleanor James's bold move quickly became a global sensation. News of her decision to purchase the airline spread like wildfire, capturing headlines and sparking widespread public applause. People were inspired by the story of a 70-year-old woman who turned an act of humiliation into a powerful stand against injustice. Eleanor's actions weren't just seen as bold, they were a beacon of hope for anyone who had ever been dismissed, disrespected, or underestimated. Once the purchase was finalized, Eleanor wasted no time in making changes. Her first act as the new owner was decisive. She terminated the employment of the attendant who had publicly humiliated her. While the move sent shockwaves through the airline staff, it was a clear message that prejudice and disrespect would no longer be tolerated. Eleanor then turned her attention to the larger picture. She initiated a comprehensive overhaul of the airline's customer service policies, focusing on fostering an environment of dignity and inclusivity for all passengers. Mandatory sensitivity training was introduced for every employee, from top executives to ground staff, ensuring that the company upheld its commitment to respect and fairness. Under Eleanor's leadership, the airline underwent a transformation, earning back public trust and admiration. Her story became a symbol of resilience and justice, showing the world that no one is too small or too old to make a difference. Through her courage and determination, Eleanor built a legacy of respect that would last for generations. As the new CEO, Eleanor James made it clear that respect is earned through actions, not titles. Her leadership reshaped the airline into a beacon of equality, fairness, and dignity, setting a new standard for how every passenger and employee should be treated. Eleanor James's story is a powerful reminder of resilience and the courage to stand against injustice. Her journey shows that even in the face of humiliation, we can transform pain into purpose and create meaningful change. The lesson is clear. Never allow others to dictate your worth or limit your potential. Stand up for what's right, fight for dignity, and inspire others to do the same. Let Eleanor's actions motivate you to challenge unfairness in your own life and community. Together, we can build a world where respect and equality prevail. If her story moved you, share it with others. It's time to spread the message that no act of discrimination should go unchallenged. Let's stand strong and make a difference.